In the digital age, websites are fortresses holding valuable data. Protecting these fortresses are web application firewalls, or WAFs, the guardians of the web. WAFs act as gatekeepers, filtering out malicious traffic and protecting web applications from attacks. They are essential for maintaining a secure online presence. For security professionals, understanding WAFs is crucial. Red teams, in particular, need to know how to bypass these defenses to effectively test security postures. Bypassing a WAF is not about exploiting vulnerabilities in the firewall itself. Instead, it's about finding clever ways to sneak past its defenses and reach the application behind it. Imagine trying to get into a heavily guarded building. You could try to break through the front door, but that's likely to set off alarms. A more subtle approach might be to find an unlocked window or disguise yourself as a delivery person. WF bypass is about finding those less obvious entry points. It's about understanding how the WF thinks and then using that knowledge to craft attacks that slip through unnoticed. Bypassing a WAF is like solving a puzzle. You need to understand the rules the WAF is using to filter traffic and then find ways to bend or break those rules without triggering any alarms. Here are a few common WAF bypass techniques. Case toggling. WAFs often rely on pattern matching to identify malicious code. Changing the case of letters in a malicious payload can sometimes bypass these filters. For example, changing SQL to SQL might be enough to fool a simple WAF. Null character injection. A null character represented as %00 acts as a terminator in some systems. Injecting a null character into a malicious payload can sometimes truncate the request, preventing the WAF from seeing the entire attack string. Inline comments. Comments are often ignored by web servers, but not always by WAFs. Inserting malicious code within a comment can sometimes bypass WAF filters, allowing the code to reach the web server. Mixed case encoding. Encoding malicious code using a mix of upper and lowercase letters can sometimes evade simple pattern matching filters. This technique exploits the fact that some WAFs are case sensitive while others are not. These are just a few examples of the many techniques used to bypass WAFs. The specific methods that are most effective will vary depending on the WAF being targeted and the configuration it is using. Penetration testers have a variety of tools at their disposal for bypassing WAFs. These tools automate many of the tasks involved in WAF testing, making it easier to identify and exploit weaknesses. Some popular WAF bypass tools include WAF U00F. This tool is designed to fingerprint WAFs. It sends a series of probes to a web server and analyzes the responses to determine if a WAF is present and, if so, what type it is. This information is crucial for crafting effective bypass techniques. CloudFail. As the name suggests, CloudFail targets cloud-based WAFs. It leverages the unique characteristics of cloud environments to find and exploit weaknesses. For example, it can test for vulnerabilities in serverless functions and API gateways, which are common targets in cloud deployments. Bypass WAF. This tool is specifically designed to bypass WAF rules. It offers a range of evasion techniques, including encoding, fragmentation, and obfuscation. Bypass WAF can be used to test the effectiveness of existing WAF rules and to develop new bypass techniques. SQL map, Tamper scripts. SQL map is a popular SQL injection tool that includes a library of Tamper scripts. These scripts modify malicious payloads to bypass WAF filters. For example, some scripts encode payloads while others use comment tricks or case manipulation. These tools are valuable assets for penetration testers. They automate many of the tasks involved in WAF testing, making it easier to identify and exploit weaknesses. However, it's important to remember that tools are just one part of the equation. To bypass a WAF effectively, you first need to understand how it works. WAFs act as intermediaries between users and web applications. They analyze incoming web traffic, looking for patterns that match known attack signatures. If a match is found, the WAF blocks the request, preventing it from reaching the server. WAFs rely on a variety of techniques to detect and block attacks. Signature-based detection compares incoming traffic to a database of known attack signatures. These signatures are essentially patterns that match malicious code. Anomaly-based detection establishes a baseline of normal traffic behavior. Any deviation from this baseline is flagged as suspicious. WAFs can be deployed in different ways. Some are implemented as software appliances that run on dedicated hardware. Others are offered as cloud-based services. Regardless of the deployment method, the basic principles of operation remain the same. Understanding how WAFs work is essential for crafting successful bypass techniques. By understanding the rules and algorithms used by WAFs, attackers can develop ways to circumvent these defenses. This cat-and-mouse game between attackers and defenders is constantly evolving as new attack techniques emerge and WAFs become more sophisticated. Section 5. WAF varieties: network-based, host-based, and cloud-based. WAFs come in different flavors, each with strengths and weaknesses. The three main types are network-based WAFs. These are typically hardware appliances installed at the network perimeter. They protect all web applications behind them, providing a centralized defense. Network-based WAFs are well suited for organizations with large, complex networks. Host-based WAFs. These are software modules installed directly on web servers. They offer granular control over security policies for individual applications. Host-based WAFs are a good option for organizations that want to tailor security to specific applications. Cloud-based WAFs. These are offered as a service by cloud providers. They are easy to deploy and manage, making them attractive to organizations of all sizes. Cloud-based WAFs are often integrated with other cloud security services, providing a comprehensive security solution. The type of WAF used can impact bypass techniques. For instance, bypassing a cloud-based WAF might involve exploiting vulnerabilities in the cloud provider's infrastructure. Each type presents unique challenges and opportunities from a security testing perspective. Section 6. Differentiating defenses: WAFs versus firewalls versus IPS. While WAFs, traditional firewalls, and intrusion prevention systems, or IPS, all contribute to network security, they serve distinct purposes. Understanding their differences is crucial for security professionals. Traditional firewalls. These act as border guards, controlling network traffic based on IP addresses and ports. They are effective at blocking unauthorized access to a network, but they don't understand the context of web applications. Intrusion prevention systems, or IPS. These are more intelligent than firewalls. They analyze network traffic for malicious activity, looking for patterns that match known attack signatures. IPS can block attacks that traditional firewalls miss. Web application firewalls, or WAFs. These are specialized firewalls designed specifically for web applications. They understand the HTTP protocol and can analyze the content of web requests, making them much more effective at blocking web attacks. Exploit opportunities lie in the gaps between these security layers. For example, an attacker might bypass a traditional firewall by using a non-standard port. They might then bypass an IPS by crafting an attack that doesn't match any known signatures. WAFs are designed to address these types of attacks, but they can still be bypassed if they are not properly configured or if the attacker uses a novel attack technique. Section 7. WAF countermeasures: detection, prevention, and evasion. WAFs employ various methods to detect and prevent attacks. Understanding these methods is crucial for designing effective evasion techniques. Signature-based detection. This is the most common detection method. WAFs compare incoming traffic against a database of known attack signatures. To evade signature-based detection, attackers use techniques like encoding, obfuscation, and fragmentation to disguise malicious code. Anomaly-based detection. This method establishes a baseline of normal traffic and flags deviations as suspicious. To evade anomaly-based detection, attackers might try to blend in with normal traffic or gradually escalate the intensity of their attacks. Behavioral analysis. Some advanced WAFs use behavioral analysis to identify malicious activity. They track user actions and look for patterns that deviate from established norms. To evade behavioral analysis, attackers need to understand the behavioral profiles used by the WAF and mimic legitimate user behavior. The cat-and-mouse game between attackers and defenders is ongoing. As WAFs evolve to counter new threats, attackers develop new evasion techniques. Section 8. Real-world WAF bypasses. Case studies and examples. Real-world examples illustrate the importance of WAF bypass in penetration testing. Case study 1. In 2019, researchers discovered a vulnerability in a popular WAF that allowed attackers to bypass its defenses using a simple encoding technique. The attackers encoded their malicious payloads using Unicode characters, which the WAF failed to decode properly. This allowed the attackers to inject malicious code into vulnerable web applications. Case Study 2. In another incident, attackers exploited a misconfiguration in a cloud-based WAF to gain access to sensitive data. The WAF was configured to allow requests from a specific IP address range. However, the attackers discovered that they could bypass this restriction by routing their traffic through a server located within the allowed IP range. These examples demonstrate that WAF bypass is not just a theoretical concern, it's a real-world threat that can have serious consequences. Section 9. Conclusion: the importance of mastering WAF bypass. In conclusion, WAFs are essential for web application security. However, they are not impenetrable. Understanding how to bypass WAFs is crucial for security professionals who need to assess the effectiveness of security controls and identify vulnerabilities. Mastering WAF bypass requires a deep understanding of web application security, network protocols, and attack techniques. It also requires knowledge of the different types of WAFs and their strengths and weaknesses. By mastering WAF bypass techniques, penetration testers can provide organizations with valuable insights into their security posture. This knowledge enables them to identify and remediate vulnerabilities before attackers can exploit them. In the ongoing battle for cybersecurity, mastering WAF bypass is an invaluable skill for any security professional.